folks can't buy or they can't borrow as much, so they're not buying, the market's dead. As soon as the rates go down, you're going to see the floodgates open. We're going to have a boom. Trump gets elected, taxes are lower, we're going to have another boom, my opinion.
Welcome back to Lifetime Cash Flow through Real Estate Investing. I'm Rod Khleif, and I am thrilled that you're here. And you're going to get tremendous value from the shy, soft-spoken, understated, awkward introvert that I'm interviewing today. His name's Engelo Rumora, and Engelo is he's a real estate investor. He's a CEO of a turnkey company called Ohio Cashflow. He's got a real estate company, Oz Realty. And anyway, welcome to the show, brother.
Rod, thanks for having me, mate. You're the only stud that I would go out of my way and fly from out of state to have an interview with. So there you go.
Well, thank you, my friend. Thank you. And by the way, all that crap I said about him earlier was just that crap. He's one of the loudest people I've ever had on the couch here. So anyway, we're going to have some fun today. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit of your story. You've got a very interesting background, and you're an Aussie.
Oi, oi, oi.
Right? And so bring us current, but give us some color.
Yeah, let me try not go into too much background. But look, so I initially quit school when I was 14, so no formal education.
And where were
whatsoever.
you living?
In Australia. Okay, but I lived in Australia and Croatia. Parents are Croatian, grandparents Italian. I was born in Australia, right? So I quit school when I was 14 because ever since I was 5 years old, I had a big dream of becoming a professional soccer player. It was the love of my life, my passion. Even to this day, I still love the sport, right? So quit school when I was 14. Can't really type too well, mate. I hate reading, ADD or whatever it's called, anxiety, got it all. I was just talking to Matt before we went on air about it. And played professional soccer when I was 18, one of the biggest achievements of my life, even to this date. I quit school so I could train full time to give myself the best possible chance of becoming a professional soccer player. And I decided to hang up the boots around 1 year after that. The reason for that is I just didn't believe that I could achieve the financial freedom that I wanted to achieve playing professional soccer by retirement age. So that was it was a tough decision to make. I decided to hang up the boots. So what do you do, Rod? Where do you go? You got no formal education. You can't read. You can't write. The only job that I could get at the time was working as a bloody laborer. So I was sweeping floors on dirty construction sites, picking up sheetrock, getting a lot of shit from all of the contractors. But I always believed that there was something bigger and better out there for me. And I always believed in how can I make money work for me instead of me working for it? So I came to the realization of that fact. And I literally replaced my huge passion that I had for football and soccer in absolute infatuation of training twice a day, not drinking, not going out, didn't even have a girlfriend up until I was 18, with business, finance, entrepreneurship, investing, royalties, stocks. Started educating myself on everything and anything related to investing, cash flow, finance. One thing led to another. Working in construction, what do you do? Bought my first house, renovated it, refinanced it, bought another one in Australia, renovated it, refinanced it. The Aussie market's very expensive. Got into a ton of debt. I was way over my head. It looked great on paper, and I picked up a lot of chicks because I was able to tell them I'm the successful real estate investor. But the reality was I was bleeding more on the monthly mortgage repayments than I was actually getting from the rent.
They call it negative gearing, don't they?
Negative
in
gearing,
Australia?
that's right.
Yeah.
And then you can offset against your taxes. It's a bloody joke. Anyway, quickly woke up and smelt the roses, mate. So this was around 2011, 2012. Woke up and smelt the roses, and I said, this is a recipe for disaster. I can't be doing this
So
shit.
you didn't have a big crash in 08, 09 in Australia like we did here?
They did, but not real estate wise. Mostly from the stock market.
Gotcha. Okay. Sorry to interrupt. Please.
Yeah, no,
continue.
you're fine, mate. Just don't do it again.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Quickly woke up and smelt the roses, mate. This was around 2012. US real estate market comes across my desk. Aussie dollars 1 for 1. You got properties here selling for peanuts, right? And I'm like,
what you're saying is the Aussie dollar was 1 for 1 with the US
the American dollar.
Yeah.
Which is normally always a 30, 40, 50% difference, right? Packed my bags, mate.
That was it.
Literally, one day, packed my bags. 6 months I was in the US. Bought my first property. I got off the boat, as I like to joke around, in Kansas City. Don't quote me on the numbers because I can't remember, but I made a 20 grand profit, and I was like, shit, this is better. This is better than sliced bread. Eventually moved to Toledo, Ohio, because I saw a lot of opportunity there in the market.
On purpose?
Yeah, on purpose. Look, the beautiful weather, the beaches, you can't go wrong. You know what I mean? Love snorkeling, fishing, just like you do. Mate, look, started a turnkey company, Ohio Cashflow. I stopped counting at 1,000 flips. Had to set up in-house property management, real estate brokerage, invested in tech, invested in crypto, heavily invested right now in the stock market, invested in an oil fund, made millions, lost millions, and here I am with you today.
Wow. Well, we're gonna deconstruct most of what you just said. You've done a ton of flips. Why all these other disciplines? Why crypto? Why oil? Why all these other things?
Great question. So look, I'm a real estate guy,
right?
Okay, and that's always going to be my bread and butter,
right?
But I guess from a diversification standpoint, and I've always liked investing in other opportunities, especially the stock market. Even like in 2008, I think I've been through that downturn, but I was a little bit too young and I didn't have any capital to be able to capitalize on it. And I always thought to myself, one day I'm going to be loaded with cash and I'll be able to capitalize on a downturn in a market when it happens, like it did in 2008. And I made a lot of money during COVID. I actually did a video. And I'm not Nostradamus here, not predicting the future, but common sense, again, not the smartest guy out there, Rod, not the most sophisticated guy out there, but if you look at historical stats, there's a market downturn every 7 to 10 years on average. After 2008 and 9, this is 2018 when I did the video, we haven't had a downturn. The market's booming, everything's booming, real estate, stocks, and I had no clue what could happen or how it could happen, but I believed something was going to happen, either on purpose or accidentally, like a black swan type event. So I sold out of everything I had. I was sitting on a lot of cash, and I literally tripled my money during COVID because I went deep into the stock market during COVID. So that's where the opportunity presented itself. I consider myself to be kind of fairly well versed in a lot of different asset classes. Crypto, don't have a bloody clue about crypto. That was just stupid.
Okay. So
yeah.
You don't. Do you feel like that we could have a correction in the stock market this year?
No, and I'll tell you why. And I literally stalk CNBC 10 hours a day. I feel that there's a lot of, look, we've got the election coming up. I feel that the Fed and Powell, in a way, are going to manipulate the inflation rate or be manipulated by the upcoming election. So they have to start softening up the
interest rate.
The interest rates.
Yeah, well, I believe that too. They have to come down a little bit.
Okay, they have to come down a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know how much, 3-4 cuts, 0.25, whatever.
Right.
Maybe not more than that. That's my opinion.
Right, same here.
A lot of pent-up demand, ton of pent-up demand.
For houses.
For houses.
Yes.
Right? People are fixed into their long-term mortgages.
Interest rate, they got 3% now. They don't want 7%.
They don't want to sell. Folks can't buy or they can't borrow as much, so they're not buying. The market's dead. As soon as the rates go down, you're going to see the floodgates open. We're going to have a boom. Trump gets elected. Taxes are lower. We're going to have another boom. My opinion. You've already got artificial intelligence booming. I think, my personal opinion, mate, over the next 2 or 3 years, there's going to be a lot of real estate appreciation, and the stock market is going to keep going to all-time highs. I'm heavily invested right now, literally all of my eggs in one basket, Rod. Regional banks. Heavily invested.
You can decide if we cut this out or not.
Okay.
But I think you're making a very dangerous mistake, and I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
A lot of commercial debt is coming due right now. A lot of bridge debt is coming due. A lot of office debt and commercial debt is held by small and regional banks.
Yep.
And a lot of that debt's in trouble. Office is like it in the, some areas are 50% occupied.
Yeah.
So a lot of areas are 60, 70% occupied. Big metropolitan areas, millions of square feet. And I think we're going to see some bank failures, some significant bank failures. I actually think that's going to be the catalyst for a pullback. Now, again, you can decide if you want to take this out of the interview or not, but I actually think you could be in a dangerous place with that, honestly. But I'm telling you personally, I would be very careful, okay? All right, because I really think that we're going to see small and regional bank failures, probably not till after the election, because they're going to prop the interest rate back up.
Yeah.
But if they steal that election, I think, even if they don't, I don't think Trump can stop what's coming with so much debt coming due.
Yeah, no, I understand that. So my opinion on that is, mate, I don't think that a lot of the regional banks are as exposed as folks think they are to commercial loans. That's my opinion. And if you look at the book value of these banks, they've got bloody more assets than their stock price is worth right now. They're still profitable, they're still growing revenue, and they're still paying dividends. You had Silicon Valley Bank collapse, First Republic, New York Community Bank with the Munchkin guy, whatever his name is, he's backing them right now. Look, if the interest rates continues to stay higher for longer, there could be trouble, but eventually they'll reposition. Small businesses, Rod, are too integrated into community banks. They can't let them go under. They're going to consolidate. There's going to be less.
Well, there'll be consolidation.
The
banks don't actually, well, I don't know what happens. No,
I'm not invested in individual regional banks. I'm invested in a 3 times leveraged ETF that has in regional banks in bulk.
Okay.
It's very high risk, very high risk. I don't recommend anyone do it.
Yeah.
I'm either going to be a hero or a zero.
Yeah, well, I hope you're not a zero.
Because look, for example, I bank with a regional bank. Small business owners bank with a regional bank.
Agreed.
I can call my bank right now, mate, and YOU funds or anywhere, they'll do it. I don't have to go there. They don't really abide by the Patriot Act bullshit that like a Bank of America does in a Wells Fargo. You know what I mean? So they're just too integrated into small business. People love them. They offer the best rates. They offer the best customer service. And if with time, they should figure out ways how to get out of these loans, how to refinance them, how to do something.
Now, let's hope so.
I hope so. Well, look, we had the worst of it behind us, especially now. And here's another one of my predictions, mate. Here's another one of my predictions. War in Ukraine and Russia is going to end within the next 2 years. Oil's going to go down. What does that do to inflation? It also goes down. There's a lot of large tech companies right now firing a lot of people, mate.
Yeah, I know.
Right? They're firing a lot of people.
Right.
And if people aren't getting employed, and if people aren't employed, they're not spending any money, what does that do to inflation? We had 2 months now where it was a little bit higher than usual. Okay, let's see what March is going to bring. We'll listen to this guy today, I think he's talking, or whenever. But again, I mean, if they, this is what I think is going to happen. If they reduce the interest rate by 1 percentage point, the DPST ETF that I'm invested in is literally going to go 3 to 4x based off of historical data. Again, historical data is not a prediction of future, but again, that's my prediction.
I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. I actually, my belief is that small and regional banks are going to be the catalyst for something bigger in a negative way in this economy. But we'll see. You know what? I hope you're right. I really do. So you've built several different types of companies. You've got your turnkey business. You're very successful. You've got your real estate business. Do you have other businesses as well, or are those the 2 big ones?
That's my bread and butter.
Okay.
Rod. Yeah.
So are you a broker?
No, I'm not a broker. The officer of our company is a licensed broker.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. So and I've owned real estate companies that same way, where I've got a namesake,
Correct.
A qualifier as
I don't want to abide by all of the BS NAR laws and regulations, man. I'm happy being a wild child.
Yeah. That's funny. I just interviewed somebody who's like one of the largest brokers in the world, and we didn't talk about the NAR thing. I forgot to do that, but I completely forgot. Oh well. Yeah.
Yep.
So let's talk about diversification for a minute, okay? I believe focus is power. And every time that I have diversified, quote unquote, I've diluted that focus and everything suffers. So what do you do to mitigate that when you're investing in multiple different things so that your focus is not diluted?
What did I do wrong to you? You're lighting me up today. Far out, mate. What did I do wrong? You don't like my hat or something? Yeah. Do I smell bad, mate? What's going on? Okay, let me try and make it simple. You got a nice watch on. Price is what you pay, value is what you get, is what Warren Buffett says. You know the price of your watch. If someone comes to you and you know it's the same watch and it's legit for 1/5 of the price, would you buy it? You probably would. So it's not really diversification. I guess it's just taking opportunity when it presents itself.
Fair enough.
My bread and butter is real estate. That's what I know. That's what I do. I was telling Matt earlier, I lost my ass on a tech project because I didn't know it. I was spread thin and I had my equity partner skimming off the top, which was supposed to go to the developers. So I 100% agree with you when it comes to that. Look, my funds are in my businesses in Ohio Cashflow and Oz Realty. From a personal portfolio standpoint, which you absolutely murdered me on, mate, I'm heavily invested in regional banks. So that doesn't really take much of my focus away other than just kind of keeping my finger on the pulse with what's going on in the economy. But all day and every day, mate, I'm grinding away at my turnkey business and especially right now at scaling my property management company.
Nice, nice, nice. How many units are you managing?
400 units.
400. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We would only manage.
And those are primarily ones you've sold?
Correct. Single family homes. We would only manage what we sold.
Right.
Until I saw an opportunity in the Toledo market to start opening up the doors to outside investors. Grew 30% from last year, expecting 30% growth this year. It's absolutely booming. Absolutely booming. We didn't even have a website for property management. But again, Toledo is notoriously known for poor property management companies that nickel and dime, bad reviews, they scam folks. So we decided to open the doors to that. And look, I love the property management business. Food and shelter are the two most important things to humanity, right? Until Elon Musk puts us on Mars, mate, people are always going to need a roof over their head. Predictable business, cash flow positive. We run a tight ship, Rod, like a very tight ship. Property management companies usually generate 5 to 10% profits on the revenue, where between 30 to 40% profits. Okay.
Why do you think?
They just don't know how to run the business. They don't know how to optimize it, monetize it, and systemize it. And that's our focus for the last couple of years. And I hated property management. For the first 5 years, mate, I wanted to kill myself. Like,
it's a thankless job. You don't get, the tenants don't call you when they're happy. Other owners don't call you when they're happy.
Correct.
They're only called a bitch. Typically, there's burnout in property managers,
100%.
especially in single family.
100%.
And I've had some really bad experiences with single family property management companies. Because it's almost like the wild, wild west. You'll get a broker. It's like, oh, I'm going to be a property manager on the side, and they suck. And it's not like in our world in the multifamily space, in the large multifamily, you get very sophisticated, very seasoned, professional management companies,
and on site too.
Yeah,
in many instances.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you don't get that with residential so much.
No.
And well, since you're getting your ass kicked on this interview, let's go into turnkey now.
Do you want me to take my pants off?
So I was telling you before we started recording that I am kind of not a huge proponent for turnkey. And, and I told you why. And let me tell you my reasons why. And then you can tell me why I'm mistaken.
Why you're wrong.
Why I'm wrong. Just flat out wrong. I'm not mistaken. I'm wrong. Let's call it what it is. So if you don't know what a turnkey is you're buying a property from someone that typically is flipping it. They've bought it, they've fixed it up, they've put a tenant in it, and they're selling it to you ideally for market value. Sometimes, there are companies out there which sell it for a little more than market value. But what they're doing is they're providing this opportunity for you, and they will likely manage the property after you buy it, or they'll use a third-party property management company. And the reason that I don't love it is, if you buy an apartment complex and a professional management company is managing it, you've got leverage. They don't want to lose your business. If you've got one house that's 2,000 miles away, you have no leverage. And so, that's reason number one. So,
how many reasons do you have?
I have more. Well, reason number two is I feel like you're not gonna get a deal if you're buying from a turnkey, because the turnkey is gonna make the profit because he or she's the one flipping the property. I know Kathy Fetke. She's a very good friend of mine. Yeah. She's a big turnkey person.
Sales channel.
She's a
marketing
sales channel.
channel.
Oh yeah, she's the marketing channel for that. That's
channel.
Right. That's right. She's very good at it. She's a good friend. And then there's Clothier. They kick ass with it. You'd say they're the largest in the country.
The best, largest and the best.
Yeah. But again, you're making the profit. The investors coming in, it could be classified, I suppose, as a passive investment. I just know I've heard some horror stories about people that have bought a turnkey asset and then they have, the property sits empty. They got no leverage. They're getting killed on maintenance expenses. And, so come back to me. Tell me why I'm wrong.
Should I leave now?
No.
Hey, Rod, what's wrong with making a profit? Last time I checked,
Nothing
this is a capitalistic
wrong.
country, right?
Nothing
Not communism.
Wrong.
So, okay, points taken.
Okay.
Where do I start with you now? Oh my God, mate. Look, I know. First things first. 100% agreed with you. Very scarred industry. Scarred industry. Notoriously
very what?
Scarred.
Scarred industry.
Let me try and do it in an American accent.
Right.
Scarred.
Scarred
in Australia, we say I'm going to park the car at the bar, mate. You know what I mean? I'm going to park the car at the bar. No, very scarred industry. Okay. Turnkey companies are known to sell shit properties, shit renovations, C&D class assets.
Horrible management.
Horrible management. Third-party property management. They sell them for more than what they're worth. And most of them aren't even turnkey providers themselves. They're sales channels that will put their name behind a turnkey provider in another market. Something that we don't do. We never did from day one. We put our name behind every single product that we sell. What else can I tell you, mate? I don't want to talk about a higher cash flow and pump my own business. You got to ask me questions.
The management company, dude. Tell me why that's. Tell me your solution to that issue.
Yeah. So I always say anyone can find, buy, renovate, and sell a house. Not many can manage well and manage successfully long term.
Correct.
So property management is vital to your success.
It's the most critical piece.
By far. Yeah. And it's got to be in-house. Because if it's in-house, it means it's under the same roof. I own it. I control it as the turnkey provider. If shit hits the fan, I go next door and I scream at my staff and say, what's going on? This investor bought 3, 4, 5, 10 properties. We want to keep making a good return on investment for them. We want to deliver what we promised to them on paper, because if we don't, they're not going to buy from us anymore. We'll look bad. We'll get bad reviews. I mean, we got to, even if we have to put our hand in our own pocket to fix mistakes, we do that. Third-party property management companies don't do that, Rod. You know why? What we just mentioned earlier, it's a thankless job. Tenants complaining things aren't getting fixed quick enough. Landlords complaining things cost too much to fix, and maintenance personnel is unreliable. So they have to nickel and dime to make payroll, to feed their family, right? We don't really have to do that because, again, we make money when we sell a turnkey property. We just started making money in property management. We didn't for the first 5 or 6 years because it was an absolute disaster. I hated my life with it. So that's very, very, very important. Another thing too, I'm not flogging 100 deals a month, Rod. You don't see me doing any property seminars flogging from stage in the back rooms. Not my style. We sell 4 to 5 properties per month max. Every investor goes through me. I pitch every investor. It's a small boutique niche type company. We're not in any other market except Toledo. I own it. I live it. I breathe it. That's my market. That's what I know. Why fix it if it's not broken? So keep it small, keep it boutique, keep it exclusive. We only do 5 deals a month. I only work with cash investors, no financing. Why? I don't believe in it. Number one, I don't believe in beginners building the foundation of their portfolio with leverage, especially when they don't know the heartbeat of the income and expenses of that portfolio. And number two, our price points are so low entry, sub $100,000, that you can just purchase it with cash, because normally on the East Coast to West Coast, it's literally half a parking spot for the same price. Another thing too, you know, when people ask me why Toledo, I joke around and say because the beautiful beaches and the weather. Right. It's because I've never seen any other market in the world, and I've bought property all over the world where you get a better bang for your buck. So $65,000 to $80,000, $90,000 properties, Rod, B-class areas. What is a B-class area in my eyes? Close to infrastructure, heavily owner-occupied, cars with wheels, yards well mowed, everyone's employed, and they're sophisticated enough to pay the rent online. So I'm not banging on doors collecting rents with a bulletproof vest and shotgun, okay? That is what, so our price points normally is a C or a D class asset, high crime, a lot of volatility, government subsidies, and no one pays online. They pay with cash. And unfortunately, these properties look the most attractive on paper, and they're easy sells to unsuspecting investors. My properties produce 8% net returns year after year. So there's no smoke and mirrors. That's what it is. And that's our approach. We turn down a lot of business, mate. Again, we stood the test of time, and I 100% agree with you. Turnkey sucks. There's a stigma. I've done a lot of videos and blogs on this. The turnkey industry is crap. But you do have a few providers out there that are legit, but not many.
Okay. Fair enough. Question, are you self-educated? Did you learn under a mentor about real estate? Talk about your real estate educational process.
Personal development, mate.
Yeah.
You know what Jim Rohn says? Formal education will earn you a living. Personal development will give you a lifestyle. Personal development, mate. Trial and error. Made a lot of mistakes, lost a lot of money. You pick yourself back up. You keep moving forward. You don't make the same mistake again, and you learn from your experiences. But yeah, look, I've had people that were very influential in my life.
Yeah.
In Australia, here in the US, there's a few folks. Maybe you and I can get together too, mate. I want to learn the multifamily industry because I've listened to quite a lot of your your interviews, and I do believe that's the next step. From single family homes, that is the next step.
Well, opportunity is coming, brother. Opportunity is coming. Yeah. I actually believe that we're headed for a bit of a shit show, and that's why I was a little nervous about your regional bank holdings. But
I still love you. It's okay.
Okay, well, I hope you still love me if it does what I think it's going to do. Because anyway, so let's shift gears a little bit. You're a freaking driver, okay? Let's talk about lifestyle a little bit. You know, because I'm trying to slow my life down. I'm getting thrust back into, property management myself right now because I'm going to be taking over a lot of assets that someone else was managing for me. So, but I'm trying to, I'm trying to live more of a lifestyle. I took 3 cruises in the last 6 months, trying to,
Yeah.
What's your comment on that?
You have to.
Yeah.
You just have to come to the realization when enough is enough.
Yeah.
And for me, it was, I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Burnt out times 5, mate. Doubling profits every year, doubling revenue every year for the first 5 years.
Nice.
It was all good and great. I won the awards, Rod, bought the cars, bought the watches, bought the holiday homes, keeping up with the Joneses, comparing whose is bigger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But stomach ulcers, kidney stones, anxiety, it takes its toll on you. And then, I took a step back a couple of years ago. I'm kind of back in the grind now, different, smarter, in a much different way. And I came full circle. I really came to the realization that, it's not about adding another zero to the bank account. It's about spending the meaningful time with people that matter, which is your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your wife, even your ex-wife. Yeah. Been there, mate. Been there. You know what I mean? Great woman. And we're still in business together. We still work together. You know what I mean? So, but this is what matters the most, in my opinion. And the sooner that people can wake up and smell the roses and come to that realization, I think it's going to be better for them, because time flies. We're not getting any younger. Our loved ones aren't getting any younger, mate.
So let me ask you this. Do you think you could do it while you're on the path to success?
No.
You can't?
No. I don't believe in work-life balance.
Okay. So it's one or the other.
One or the other. Because if you want to make money and you want to succeed, you have to live it, breathe it all day and every day. And things that you're going to have to sacrifice a lot of things, and that's probably going to be personal relationships with loved ones. My opinion. And it happened to me. But I came full circle, got rid of all of the materialistic possessions, made me lighter, a lot lighter. I don't really focus. I still love nice things, but I don't really focus on that anymore. Started reading a lot of religious writings. Stoicism has been big for me. Meditation, believe it or not, this guy meditates. I do, and it puts me in a place of calm and peace throughout the day when shit gets crazy. A lot of exercise.
I don't see you as a stoic. Sorry.
Oh yeah, mate. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised, Rod. Yeah. There's a lot of internal thought process that happens before certain actions are made or certain things are said.
Oh, that's good.
The meditation allows me to put a pause between reacting.
Oh, that's something I'm working on right now. I literally just interviewed my coach here, and because I'm too reactionary, I speak without stopping to think about it, and I'm literally in coaching for it right now. It's so funny you say that.
Meditation is mate, it's the weirdest, craziest suggestion.
So how do you meditate? Do you use an app, or what do you do?
No, just mindful meditation, mate. No religious-based bullshit.
So no, I'm not talking about religious-based, but I'm talking about, something that quiets you and talks to you while you're doing it.
Put your Apple headphones on.
Yeah.
Set the alarm for 5 minutes. You've got various meditation apps. Close your eyes and focus on your breath.
Right.
That's it. Think about your breath. Your mind's going to wander in 17 million different directions. You have to be cognizant enough to catch yourself in the thought and bring yourself back to the breath. It's just an exercise.
And you only do 5 minutes.
5 minutes, increase it to 10 to 15. The most I got to was 40 minutes. Quiet room, complete silence. Every day, do it.
Sitting or reclining, or
however you want.
Okay.
That's it.
Do you fall asleep?
No.
Okay.
I want to stay conscious.
Okay.
And you will find after 3, 4, 5, 6 months, dude, incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. Someone cuts you off in the traffic, your first instinct is to tell them to go and fuck themselves, right? And to get in front of them and get out of the car. This puts a pause between you doing that, and it brings you back to your breath, which is the exercise of the mind throughout the meditation, right? Because you're breathing, your eyes are closed, your thoughts are wandering 17 million different directions, but you keep catching yourself in the thought, bringing yourself back to your breath. So in certain instances in business or life, it automatically happens. It's like auto suggestion. It's you automate your mind to catch yourself and bring yourself back to the breath before you do something stupid.
Wow. Well, that's helpful for me, I'll be honest, because I have not been meditating. I've really been giving it a lot of thought. I used to a little bit, but I feel like I'm in a place right now where I need it based on all the things that are happening for me. So, no, I love it.
But it's not overnight, mate.
Oh, no, I got it. No, I got it. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
And you need to find the time to do it, and you don't want to do it, but I hate doing it. Honestly, I hate going to the gym, mate. I hate the gym, but I'm in there 3 hours a day.
I love the gym.
I hate it with a passion. But I like looking good and I like being fit, and I know how much it helps me deal with everything throughout the day. Fit body equals fit mind, right?
Yeah.
Hate meditating, but I do it. There's a lot of things that I hate doing, but I do it every day because it makes me a better person. It makes me more relaxed. Reading. I hate reading. I can't read.
So you listen to audio?
No, I read. But I hate it because if I listen to audio, my stupid brain doesn't register it because I'm listening to audio, smoking my cigar and looking at the stars. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to be there. But, you know, reading the Daily Stoic and Jesus Calling and stuff like that, it's incredible. If you really read it and reread it, because I have to register it in my thick head, then you can implement the teachings from that into everyday life.
You know, I teach my students to associate pleasure with things that they don't like right now, because I believe you can learn to love anything if you do that. You know, so if it's exercise, you bring music in, you just associate pleasure. If it's, you know, if you don't love real estate, for example, I tell people associate pleasure with it. Look at it like you're hunting for buried treasure, because that's really what you're doing. You know, but
I like that analogy, mate. And I always said every experience is a good experience as long as you perceive it to be a good experience.
Well, that's right. And
you know what I mean?
And so, you know, if you're affirming that you really hate something over and over again, your brain is listening. So,
True.
You know, so a question I like to ask is, you know, in a person's journey, if they had any epiphanies, like an aha, okay, now I freaking get it moment. So think about your real estate journey, and if anything comes to mind with that statement.
So the epiphany or a life-changing moment for me was when I was burnt out ×5, and I literally, in a way, wanted to give it all away. I just couldn't do it anymore. I was done. Virtual assistants, Rod, saved my life.
Yeah.
Virtual assistants.
Wow.
Integrating them the right way was a blessing in disguise for me. I couldn't believe it. I never believed, because look, being an entrepreneur, you always want to have in-house staff because I want to touch them, see them, feel them. No, not in that way.
Right.
In a entrepreneurial way.
Right.
Figure of speech, everyone. Figure of speech. That's kind of why we are entrepreneurs and business owners. We take pride in creating something that can feed everyone else, right? And I got burnt, mate, so many times. I'll never have a business partner again. Yeah. I lost $2 million. I stopped counting at $2 million, mate, how much I've been screwed in my former CEO embezzled $250,000 from us. Contractors. You can't win with those guys. Anyway, integrating virtual assistants into our operations from every little nitty gritty thing that we do. We spent 3 months. This was my Hail Mary, as they say in NFL.
Yeah.
So we've got a company that we work with that we spent 3 months recording videos, training on every little step. And the remote workers are in the Philippines.
They're in the Philippines.
Great people. Yeah. Love them to death. I lived there for 6 months. Beautiful people.
Yeah.
And we've got 4 on board right now. We're looking at scaling. Everyone's trained to do exactly what they need to do. Perfect English, great people, hardworking. If one remote worker decides to leave or is sick, there's a backup already trained to fill the spot. If we need to scale, they're already trained.
So you're using a company for this then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you paying per hour?
We pay $1,800 a month.
For how many? For one person?
One person.
Do the math on that hourly for me.
Around $10 an hour.
It's 10? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you know, it's interesting. When I was getting back into real estate, I had 8 VAs in the Philippines.
Yep.
6 of them I was paying $1.93 an hour each. I had 6 people under $12 an hour, and people were like, "You scumbag!" You know, they were thrilled to get it.
100%.
You know,
average salary in the Philippines. And sorry to interject you, Rod, is $3.
No kidding.
I lived there for 6 months. Yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful people. $3 a day is the average salary.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. See, so they were thrilled to get it. I've actually shifted to Latin America. I've got 2 kick-ass, 2 or 3. Three in Latin America right now that are just killer. And what I like about that is they're on our time zone. So, you know, in the Philippines, they have to work graveyard shift to work for you.
They do.
Yeah, so it's got to be harder for them.
It is.
But in Latin America now, but I will tell you, you know, I had 8 virtual assistants, 6 at $1.93. I had 2 that spoke English better than I did. Sound like they were from freaking Wyoming, and they were like $4 an hour. Just you know, VAs are fantastic. And you know, as an entrepreneur, you may have heard me say this before. You know, I always get asked, you know, I need to start building my team. Who should I hire first? It's always an assistant, always. And if it can be a VA, that's even better. The only thing with a virtual assistant is you're not going to tell them to go do something. You have to do those training videos. You have to lay it out for them, you know, step by step and teach them. But they're fantastic once they know the system. They're just don't expect a lot of out of the box thinking unless you're going higher and you're going to hire somebody that's got degrees in certain things and things like that.
Then you might as well stay in-house.
Well, no, you could actually, no, you can hire people that have legal degrees and everything for like $12 an hour. I mean, it'd blow your mind what you can get. So
look, I know a lot of other companies, obviously including yourself, they
Yeah.
do it in-house themselves. I personally do not have the courage to do that because I don't want to go through the training again if I bring someone else on.
yeah, got it. No, I mean,
You know what I
listen, at $8 an hour, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, we do take the time to train, and we've got, like I say, some kick-ass people. So it's really good. So you know, you've started looking. You said you smoke 3 cigars a day now, so you started looking at life through a lifestyle filter.
Yeah.
What part of what you do you enjoy the most?
Oh, mate, what part of what I do I enjoy?
Yeah, what's
the
your
most?
favorite part of the job?
Mate, I love the potential of scaling. Like right now, my big focus, especially, is property management. We've shifted. It used to be 70% turnkey, 30% property management. I shifted to 70% property management to 30% turnkey. So what I love doing, which is very weird, is kind of the thought process behind the systemize, optimize, monetize, right? For example, we just introduced deposit insurance for all of our tenants, so they don't have to come up with too much out of pocket upon move-in. All systemized, all automated, but we still control the deposits on the back end. Saving 20 hours of time every couple of weeks for my team. Introduced an affiliate marketing service to optimize our revenue, right? Where we didn't charge rent. It wasn't mandatory to have renters insurance with our property management company. We just introduced that from a liability standpoint to protect our landlords, to protect the tenants themselves, and us as the property management company. So, and this is through a company called Second Nature, right? Where we make a few bucks on top. They help them with move-in services. They help folks with $1 million fraud identity prevention. They also send furnace filters 3 times a year.
Oh, wow.
And they have renters insurance, and there's a lot of other little perks there, right?
Oh, that's cool.
So that's another thing that we just incorporated. We incorporated property maintenance software called Property Melt. So when a tenant submits a maintenance repair request, it automatically gets siphoned through to our technicians, and we are in between just monitoring everything and looking at it.
Making sure it gets done. Yeah.
No, we don't even have to do that because it's automatically scheduled with the maintenance technician. There's a time and date that is scheduled. They correspond between each other, but we track it all and we see it all. So we, in a way, which sucks, but we eliminated 2 in-house roles with this software. We already have digital lockboxes, but now we're looking to incorporate completely automated digital lockboxes. So our virtual assistants or remote workers do not have to check everyone's ID before we give them access to go and look at the home themselves. It's all going to be done online and virtually. You've got companies like Rently that does it, and Tenant Turner. We're still evaluating who we want on board for that. So that's kind of my big focus. Look, it's nitty gritty. It's tough. I don't really like it per se, but I see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I see how much it's impacting our operations, how much it's impacting my staff, and how much it's impacting our bottom line. And I never thought I would say this, Rod, but we're at a point right now where I'm looking at M&A. Like I'm looking at buying another company in town and bringing the book of business to us because we can scale without a problem. Like without a problem, we can double our business overnight and not skip a beat because of how automated we are.
No, that's fantastic. Have you incorporated any business operating systems? And what I mean by that, the one that I like to talk about is from a book called Traction.
Yeah.
EOS.
Gino Wickman. Oh, yeah. Did it, implemented it, dropped off with it.
Really?
Yeah. The operation is very tight, very boutique, very exclusive. In a way, we still have similar principles, and I love that approach. I love that, really do. In a way, we still have similar principles, but we don't do level 10 meetings. We don't have quarterly rocks. That's just more kind of...
oh, it's been a game changer for us, man. It really has, because then we're focused on short-term goals, and we meet most of them. And now we haven't implemented it the right way yet, like completely, because you got to have the right seats in the bus and things like that, and have an implementer and all that, which we didn't do. But it's been a game changer for us in all my businesses, actually.
Yep. Did it, mate? Did it when I was grinding. I'm still grinding now, but again, smarter, more different. Did it, and then where it fell apart is when the integrator left.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Right. That's where it kind of.
So you actually had an integrator then? Yeah. Gotcha.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we had departments.
Okay.
We had departments, but I completely scaled it back, mate.
Have you?
And now we're leaner and meaner. Like it's a much better operation. It's much more profitable. our investors are much happier now.
Gotcha.
You know, so
Gotcha.
yeah.
So, I have a lot of aspiring real estate investors that listen to the show. They know they want to do multifamily. They know they want to do something with their lives beyond what they have right now. Not to say their lives are terrible, but they know they deserve and want more for themselves and their families. What words of inspiration could you give them?
Mate, you live in the best country in the world. What are you talking about? God bless America. Whenever I come back, mate, I kiss the bloody floor. And I've lived all over. The bureaucracy, the corruption, the politics all over the world, it's a fucking joke. This is the best country in the world. If I can come here and you, from wherever the fuck we came here and do what we did, give me a break. You're telling me you can't? Come on, man. Do it. Just do it. Like, you're probably going to make mistakes. You're not going to make money straight away, but learn from the mistakes. Don't give up and keep moving forward. If that means buying a single family home, if that means going into multifamily, wholesaling, being a realtor, if you're looking at doing something in real estate, just do it. Stop flirting with it. Come on, we need to get down and dirty. Sometimes.
Just freaking do it.
Just do it, mate.
Love it. I love for people, they think the success comes like it's a straight line to success. Talk about a time you got your ass handed to you, a war story. Talk about I call them yeah, all right. Well, talk about a doozy. Okay, one where you just got your butt handed to you. I call them seminars, So talk about one of those.
Yeah, on my LinkedIn page, it says I finished the Harvard degree of mistakes.
Oh, love it. I love it.
Well, mate, I mean, I can talk to you about this for days.
Well, certainly with contractors,
you can't win there.
Yeah,
it's just the cost of doing business.
Okay,
in the way I see it.
Okay.
Well, here's a big one. A big one is this: trust but always verify.
Right.
Okay, and we've got 3 or 4 crews right now that are doing great work for us. Over the past, it was the same, and we got a little bit lazy with verifying the work before we cut a check. So I got done for 32 grand once. I've had contractors, mate, take a draw, buy a boat, take a draw, buy a car, take a draw, take their wife on a holiday, take a draw, buy drugs, take a draw, buy materials, use them on another job. The list goes on. So that would be a big one. Trust but verify. You can't have 2 cooks in a kitchen. So forget about having a business partner, in my opinion, unless your business partner is going to be completely passive and just offer the capital and stay out of your business. Or you have to have set terms in regards to what they're getting paid, how much they're getting paid, but they cannot tell you how to cook.
What if you've got alternate personality types? Like in the multifamily space, I'm going to tell you that it is a team sport. You're going to have partners. And some of the best partnerships I see are an analytical person with an outgoing person. That's a match made in heaven.
The alpha and omega. Doesn't the penny drop with you? You still kind of make.
Well, yeah, the outgoing person very often is the mouthpiece, and they're typically the driver because the analytical person is usually more introverted, and that works. That works very, very well. So you have nothing against that, then?
Nothing against that. If you can make it work. Before I used to say you can't work with family. But I've seen a lot of family businesses do very well, like REI Nation. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I kind of eat my words a lot of the time. But I say what's on my mind. I say what I think. Mate, what else? Look, here's a big one. I got done by FTX with the crypto scandal.
Oh, you lost some money in FTX?
I lost $500,000 on that. Wow. I kept my keys, no tokens, because I was trading a little bit. So I left the tokens on the platform because who would have thought FTX was going to go bust? But look, I'm back in the game again. I'm still investing. I'm just not making the same mistake. So now I control all of the crypto on my laptop right here. Okay, so don't even look at it. No, but I mean, that's kind of a message for everyone listening is, you are going to get your ass handed to you on a plate. But if you cook, mate, and you get burnt, does that mean you're going to stop cooking? Well, how are you going to eat? How are you going to survive, right? You need to keep cooking again and keep trying. As an entrepreneur, you're like a shark. You only die if you stop swimming. There you go. Yeah. With what you know now, and you've done a lot of real estate, a lot of single family. You want to get into multifamily? Well, I can help you with that. But if you could go back and tell 18-year-old Engelo something, about what you know now, is there anything you might do differently? What's the lesson you might share with your younger self? I was just telling Matt earlier, mate. I get that question asked quite often, and what I always used to say, I would never do it again. It wasn't worth it. That's funny. I would never do it again, but I changed my mind on that. Yeah. I would do it again, but I would do it much slower. Slower? Yeah. Interesting. So love me, my Grant Cardone. I wish I went bigger sooner when I emailed him. If you have one regret, what would you do differently? He just responded to me, said I would have went bigger sooner. That's all good and great, but personally, I would have went slower, right? And I'll tell you why. Doubling revenue, doubling profits for the first 5 years, burning out, not wanting to do it again, and then where you're at. Or growing at 10% per annum and being able to do it for the next 50 years. You're going to have a much stronger foundation. You're not going to burn out. You're not going to lose relationships with loved ones. And I think slow and steady wins the race. Not a sprint,
I don't
it's more of a
disagree at all.
marathon.
I don't disagree at all. In fact, I just had to caution one of my warriors that's pushing 1,000 units that about he's going a little too fast. And I said, man, you know, you got a lot of plates spinning. Be careful.
Yep.
We had a conversation. He's going to be okay. But no, good answer. Is there a book that you gift to people that ask you how to get into this business?
I do.
What
My
is it?
book.
You have a book?
Yeah, of course.
What's your book?
The Raw Truth to Success in Real Estate.
The Raw Truth to Success
Yeah,
in
but
Real
don't buy
Estate.
it. I don't like my publisher. I'll give it to you.
That's funny. That's really
You'll get
funny.
it for free.
That's
Just
funny.
email me. I'll send it to you.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. That's funny. Last question. If you could teach school children something that they're not getting right now, what might it be?
Don't go to school. School children, mate. Look, it would probably have to be related to money,
Yeah.
and business and entrepreneurship, because
Yeah.
school doesn't teach you that.
No.
Look, I mean that's probably an answer that everyone's going to give you. That's got half
But
a
it's
mind.
the truth. But it's the truth.
mate.
Yeah.
They're not taught
They
that
don't
in
teach
school.
you finance.
No.
They don't teach you how to be an entrepreneur. And the professors that teach business in school never had a business, so they don't
Correct.
know. They don't
So-
know it either.
What bullshit is that, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, and a good answer. Good answer. Well, listen, Engelo, I appreciate you coming out here, brother. It's very much a pleasure to meet you, and you're a real hoot, and really enjoyed this conversation. So let's definitely stay in touch, man.
Thanks, mate. Would love to come back again.
All right,
sometime.
well, let's make it happen, brother.
There you go.
All right. So one other quick thing. We encounter so many people that are frankly frustrated. You know, they're looking in the mirror and they're frustrated that they haven't been able to escape the rat race. They haven't been able to build cash flow to the point where they're able to have financial and time freedom with their families. You know, and maybe they see other people buying real estate and creating, you know, incredible cash flow, and they think, well, it's just scary. You know, buying apartments is intimidating. And I get it. But see, that's why we created our Warrior Mentorship Program. They're our coaching students, and they've had extraordinary results. My students, I've been teaching about 5 years, and they own upwards of 140,000 units now that we know of, right? And we feel like it's just getting going. Now we're looking to grow this group and really take it to the next level. And honestly believe that the greatest transfer of wealth could be upon us right now with this current economic environment. Everything's going on sale. So we're looking for people who want to follow a proven framework, really like a blueprint or a map, literally step by step. And then they're able to leverage our systems and our incredible network to raise money and equity, to find deals and close those deals and build partnerships, really nationwide. So if you're interested in finding out more about how you can become more in our incredible network and take advantage of the unbelievable opportunities that are upon us, you can apply to my Warrior Mentorship Program by texting the word CRUSH to 72345, or you can go to mentorwithrod.com. And what we'll do is we'll set up a call so you can check us out and we can check you out and see if it's a fit. Now again, you can go to mentorwithrod.com or text the word CRUSH to 72345 to apply, and we will speak soon.